Hi, Giggle. I'm back again. I'm once again not prepared with anything specific, but I'm here and I'm going to do it anyway. So that's good. I just got off of work, so look, I'm taking my picture from my Instagram. See, this is why I need to actually put in my timestamps for everything. I look insane in that picture. Let's just put a sticker over top of it. Perfect. Yeah, I need to probably prepare a little bit more than I usually do. Let's try to move this and see what happens. Did that center a little bit better? It's weird because the way that my screen is, I actually have to have my camera like way to the side. And I'm not used to that yet. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure out editing. One of my goals is to figure out editing so I can make real videos and I can actually set up my camera somewhere really nice. I'm gonna get a better camera. And then I'll be able to have better lighting and a better location, and it won't look so dingy all the time. I don't even know if my mic necessarily works. I have a nice mic, but I don't think I have my settings right yet. But I'll get there. I believe in myself. I do want to get better at everything because I've been wanting to do this for like over 10 years, and I just have always put it off because I've been busy. That's what I always say. I'm busy. Also, I'm so sorry. My hair is like crazy right now. I decided to push off getting my hair touched up more than I usually do because I bleach it a lot, but I'm also trying to grow it. So this isn't a ponytail, right? I have it pretty high on my head right there. So the length is pretty good, but my bangs are getting crazy. I have them pinned back. And so that's why they're pinned back, because they're crazy right now. And I'm trying to not straighten my hair too much because I don't want to damage it more than I already am. And I really want long hair. It's getting pretty long. This is pretty long. But when I pin it up, it reminds me of like that thing we used to do, because I'm a millennial, where you used to like take your hair and do this poof thing. Does everybody remember doing that? And then you would pin it. I used to do that all the time. I didn't have bangs back then though. So it was easier to do because you had a lot of hair. And that's like very small. But you see how crazy it looks? That's fine. It's off my forehead now, so it'll be okay. I usually have bangs because I'm not a huge fan of my forehead. I didn't say hi, Giggle, this time. Did I? Hi, Giggle. I'm so rude. I'm going to try to stream probably Mondays and Wednesdays. I think those are the most convenient day for me. I think I might be able to stream some Fridays. And if I have stuff figured out on the weekends and I'm not with everybody, then I might try to stream on the weekends occasionally. But usually I have my little dude running around, and I am still not quite on page with getting him online because he's still so little. And I don't like that. I'm not a family vlogger type. But anyway, I want to do some streams also about my experience as a late diagnosed autistic person. So I'm thinking about that too, because like right now, like I said, the Nugget is having trouble at school and he's not diagnosed yet because it's hard. Oh, thanks, B. It's hard to get kids diagnosed if they're considered lower needs, higher functioning, whatever they want to call it. I know when I got diagnosed, they told me that I was high functioning. And then they changed it later and they said, well, we don't like calling them that. We like to call you guys lower support need, you like autistic people, whatever. I think high masking is probably the better term. Because I have always had to do that. But anyway, so I like to do that at some point. Maybe I'll try to look stuff up and I'll try to kind of talk about my experience of that growing up and give a little bit more information on how I've been able to cope with some of that stress, because it is pretty stressful sometimes, especially because I have a job. like a full-time job. And I know that's really hard for a lot of people that are autistic as well. And I don't blame them because it's really hard for me some days too. So anyway, today is not about that though. Today I got some random stuff that I want to show off. And I might show off some cross-stitch stuff. I'm not sure. Kind of just depends on how long I feel like being live. I don't leave them too long right now just because I don't have a lot of time. I do these right after I get out of work, and then I only have a little bit of time before I have to go over to my mom's and we like do stuff as a whole family. So sorry, family time's more important. But I did get some packages. B had got me some stuff. I don't remember the name of the shop that he bought them from on Etsy. Maybe he can comment at some point. But he got me a couple different things, and the last of the packages finally came in. So I'm trying to wear more crop tops because it's starting to be summer. I have a lot of body image issues, but we're trying to get over it because having needy like I was in high school is not good. So he got me this Loot Goblin shirt. We play a lot of D&D, and I'm also kind of known when I'm playing video games to loot every single chest or possible thing that you can, which can be a problem sometimes because I guess people, if you're playing like a 2-player game like not Fallout, Borderlands, then it can be kind of a problem, I guess, because everybody's waiting for you. But if you're playing a single-player game, I don't know why you care if I'm going to spend forever going through every barrel in Skyrim. But you never know what you find. And sometimes when you loot a bear, they have like freaking diamonds on them. Like, how'd that bear get a diamond? It must have ate somebody. I don't know. But I got it now. So I tend to loot everything. I'm getting a lot better in Skyrim now. I don't take all the food and everything like I used to. I used to be over encumbered my whole life. But I'm getting a lot better at that. So it's not as bad. Anyway, so that's this little top. And it came from the same shop as the pants, but it's like a different shirt. This is the shirt brand. Sorry. Try that again. This is the shirt brand. And the shirt itself looks like it's been printed on. It's not like it doesn't look like those, what are those, crickets? It doesn't look like the cricket where they lay it down and they like press it. This actually looks like it's printed on there. I don't know if you guys can quite tell what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm getting used to, you can't really see too good. So I already washed it once, and so far I don't see anything crazy going on with it, so that's good. But I also got these shorts. The reason that I said Fallout earlier instead of Borderlands is not because I'm dumb. It's because I got Fallout shorts from the same people, and they look like this. At first I was like, these are just blue, B. Like, why would you just get me blue and gold? Not colors that I would wear, but they're super cute because they are actually like, they got the little shorts inside, which actually does have the little Fallout gear on it, and it's got pockets. So it kind of like, when you stand with your legs together, they kind of look more like a skirt almost. And then I like having the undershorts under the skirtish kind of shorts. I do like that kind of short. These have a drawstring, which is a real drawstring, and I like that too. So I'm excited to wear these. This is a size large. I think they're going to be fine. And with the drawstring, they should be good. They do have kind of a weird smell, like that plasticky smell you get. But they seem like they're decent quality. I mean, here's the inside. But they look fine. This is what the brand says. I don't know. Like I said, he got these from Etsy, but they don't seem like they're Etsy because they have that kind of print, and then here's the, I'm going the wrong way for the tag, and it's just got like one of these kinds of tags that just says all over print women's sport skort with pocket. It doesn't say Fallout or anything on it. And then he got me this other pair of shorts, which I'm the most excited about. Because they are purple. They're from Cheeky Inks on Etsy, he says. Cheeky Inks. If I remember, I'll go back and I'll try to link them or something. But these are the shorts that he got me, the other shorts. These are Skyrim shorts. I don't know if you guys can quite tell. You see it's got like moon sugar and like little skooma bottles on it. And of course they're purple, so I love them. And then on the little pockets of these, they have skooma, which I don't enjoy skooma. In the games, I play a lot of Skyrim, way too much Skyrim. And I actually have always collected all of the skooma bottles that I find, both empty and full, and all of the moon sugar, and I never sell any of it. It's like I think most Skyrim people probably have stuff that they collect anytime they see it. And skooma and moon sugar are one of mine. I say one because I have many. I probably could make a whole video about the weird things I do on Skyrim. But anyways, these are really cute. They're a lot like the other ones. The insides are just white stitching instead of that dark blue/black. And they still have a drawstring that works. Still the same type of squirt. Same tag inside. Same exact wording with it being a all over print women's sport squirt with pocket. That's kind of hard to say. So these are cute. I guess I could wear this with this, right? Even though it's like different colors. It's green. I got the Loot Goblin one with purple, but it's still cute. Who cares? Half the time I don't match my clothes anyway. Like, I don't care about that. I don't even match my makeup to what I wore. I actually wore makeup today. It's not perfect because I just go to work, and if I go to work, I don't care what I look like. Anyway, so I was excited about getting those. I think he just got me a plain, like, blue soft tank top to go with the Fallout one, so that'll be fine. And I'll probably wash them because, like I said, they kind of have, like, a weird plasticky smell, which, I mean, they did come in, like, plastic bags, so that makes sense. So I think these are probably from some kind of outsourced. I don't know. Etsy doesn't always sell a lot of like actually homemade things now. So I don't know if this company maybe buys the material from an outsourcer, because I know there used to be places where you could make your own patterns and then buy your fabric. I can't remember what their names were, but there were a couple. So I don't know if that's how they made this or if they just outsource the whole thing and have it. They're basically drop shipping it. I don't know. But they're cute and they seem comfortable. I'm getting my other thing. Okay. So my other thing is I was talking about my cross stitching on Instagram that I might go live and just like cross stitch. I may not actually cross stitch. I don't want to cross stitch anything that I paid for a pattern for because I don't want people to like get the pattern. If I make a pattern, I might do that. But if I'm using somebody's pattern that I bought, I want you guys to go buy the pattern. If you see me using it. So I just usually post finished stuff, which I had all of my stuff split out to multiple Instagrams, but I'm going to just start using my main because I don't care about aesthetics or keeping things separate. It's just, I am who I am. But anyway, so I'm going to probably move over a lot of those pictures to my main Instagram over time. And if I do make some patterns, I might show myself cross-stitching it. Or if I have these. So these are the kind that are pre-printed. And this one came from Walmart. Part of me doesn't like getting these. I think the most common person you can buy these kinds of things from that are in cooler patterns are going to be Tapestry Market. Walmart sometimes has them. Amazon sometimes has them. They're very similar to those diamond paintings that people like to do. I think I have some of those too somewhere. They're like diamond paintings. The reason I don't really like doing these is because the art's usually stolen from other artists, and sometimes I can find who they are, and then you can like at least go buy a print or something from Etsy or wherever they sell them to kind of make up for you getting this knockoff. But sometimes I have no idea where they got it from. I don't know if they AI generated the picture or if they just took a picture like screen grab from the movie or the show and then put a filter on it or something. But a lot of times when you get these, and I have, like I said, I feel bad. I have quite a few because a lot of the main pattern making companies that do a pre-printed kit, they usually do really like basic stuff like flowers or sunsets and like waterfalls and that kind of thing. But I want my house to be full of like nerdy stuff. But when you look up the nerdy stuff, you're almost always going to find Tapestry Market or, like I said, the random ones that are on Amazon or Walmart or Target or wherever. And usually those go away really fast off of like Amazon and Walmart because they can't verify that they actually own the image, which, like I said, it sucks because whoever actually drew this original art isn't going to make money from this kit. And I hate that. So if I can find them, usually I like to go in and try to support that artist in addition to getting this. But sometimes I have no idea where they got it. And even when you do a reverse image search, it only brings up more knockoffs from Taobao and AliExpress and then Tapestry Market and Amazon and everything. So it stinks, but I like doing these and they're really calming. And it's one of my favorite art things to do because it doesn't require me to think super hard like counted cross stitches. But I still like to do counted cross stitches as well. And those are a lot easier to buy patterns from people that actually make patterns. I do make sure that these don't have a person like on Etsy that are selling a counted pattern. So it's not like they just stole the pattern. Usually they just took the art from probably just a Google image search, or like I said, they just screen grab it and steal it that way. But when you get a kit, the thing that I like about this versus buying a pattern is that it comes all together and it's pre-printed. So you'll get lower quality. This is true. It's going to be lower quality than if you buy your own stuff, but you're going to get your, I think it's pronounced Ida. I've never heard anybody say it out loud if it's Ida or Ada fabric, but it's like that fabric that's got the holes already in it. And this one came through, and I think it said it was a, did it say it was a 16 point? I don't remember if it said it was a 16 point or if it was an 18 point. Usually I get stuff in 16 or 18 because I think it looks better. I'll have to, oh, it's sorry. This one's actually says it's an 11. That's probably why you see how close. So that has to do with how many little like squares there are per inch. So depending on how big your stitches get, it can make your pictures look a little bit more lifelike, because obviously if you have really big squares, it's going to make it look blockier. So the smaller your stitches get, the more realistic it's going to wind up looking. But it's still going to be boxy. It's going to kind of have that pixelated vibe, which I personally don't mind because I like that kind of stuff. If I was smart, I would have grabbed some of my finished work so you can see what it looks like. From a distance, it doesn't really look as pixelated as when you get up close. Like I did a Rivendell one that looked really cool, but it just depends. So if you do this same, it doesn't have the stitch on there and I'm just, oh, it did. I had it up here. I'm just dumb. It was up here. But if you did the same one with bigger stitches, it's going to take a huge piece of fabric because you're going to have to fit that many more inches worth of work since the stitches are so big. But it could also look less lifelike because they're probably going to have to downgrade on how many colors you can use just so that you can make it all fit. But that's what they wind up looking like. So it looks crazy. There's going to be a guide, which is in this book. They have a book guide as well. And it'll have your colors on the side with the pattern. And then they give you all the colors in kind of like bulk like this. And then it has inside of this, sorry, I'm opening too much packages. So this is like a popular color. So they come on like these kind of skeins, I guess I can call them. And then the rest is going to be looser on these. So it'll have the number marked here and then the color. And on this one, each one of these has its own number, but sometimes if they have a lot of these, instead of doing it as a skein, it'll actually have like the number 9 like 4 times for how much thread you need. But you have to be careful because if you're somebody that tends to have issues or have to frog out your stuff, which means to like have to tear it all out and redo it, this may not be enough. The bad thing with that is this may not always match your DMC thread. So when you go to take it, it's going to give you a DMC number. I think this will have it on there. So it'll give you supposedly the DMC number. So there's going to be the regular number for what the pattern number is to match with your code over here of all your strings in a row. And then it's going to give you the pattern or the color block that you're going to be matching in the actual pattern over here. But then on the very end, it's going to show you supposedly the DMC number as well. But like I said, this is usually probably outsourced from somewhere else, and they're probably not actually using DMC thread. So if you're going to have to buy more thread, I highly recommend taking some of your thread from your project with you to the store. Like if you're going to Michael's or Joann's or Walmart or wherever and trying to match it, or if you have a small thread shop nearby that you can go to. I personally don't. And then you're going to want to match it because just like when you buy yarn, the batches might be a little different. This one's going to be even probably less consistent because these are not actual DMC threads. I hope I've been saying DMC right the whole time. Anyway, so you have to be careful with that. I personally have not run out of fabric or thread on any of the projects that I've done like this. And I've done some really big projects and I've gotten really close before, but I've never run out. Which is good. And then I save all of my extra thread and I use those for a lot of my like small projects. Like I have patterns that I bought of like the different Pokemon sprites, or I think I have some patterns from Stardew Valley, other like 8-bit anime / cartoons / video games. And then since those are like usually super small, I like using these. And instead of using the color that the person that made the pattern suggested, I just try to do my best to use a color I already have because I don't want to waste all of this thread if I'm only going to be making a Gengar that's this big or, you know, whatever. Usually I can get the colors pretty good and then I just make my own little key so that I know what I'm making. And I like reusing my fabric that way. I also do the same thing if they give me way too much fabric on the side. I'll actually cut that off and I'll use it for my small projects as well. Someday I'll bring all of those out so everybody can see them. I've done quite a few of my Pokemon sprites. I was trying to do those in order, but then I started working on my bigger projects and I kind of just pushed that to the side. But I do want to start doing those because they're pretty fast, so I should be able to rock them out. And I want to get through, I think I bought gens 1 through 5. And obviously then they started becoming 3-dimensional. So we didn't have like the 8-bit looking sprites. So people have been manually, I guess, making those, which I'm going to eventually get those too. And then I'll do the Stardew Valley. But this one's not too big. You can kind of see how big it is compared to me. It doesn't fit on frame if I do that. Lean back. So this one's not too big. It's definitely not the biggest one I'm doing. I have finished some way bigger ones that I have like on my Instagram, but I'll totally share them at some point so I can talk about them. But this is a new one that, like I said, I've had for a while, but I think B got it for me on Walmart. And I think it's going to look cool. It's Kiki's delivery service. And hopefully it'll look cool. It looks really cool on the picture, but you know, sometimes, especially when you buy a pre-made kit like this and you haven't seen anybody make it before, it can be disappointing because you spend a whole bunch of time on it and then it turns out to not be so great. But that's what I get for buying a pre-made kit from a weird place. So it's only myself to blame. Most of these kits will also come with like a bag kind of like this. If you can see it, it's kind of hard because of the glare. But the bag will usually have like a little pom-pom ball, which I assume is for you to put your needles in when you're not using them. It usually only comes with 1 or 2 needles, but if the kit is really big, it might come with more. And if the kit is really small, it might only come with 1. And then it's got this little metal thing. I think you're supposed to use that like a thimble. My dad got me some plastic thimbles a long time ago. So if I need a thimble, I usually use those. It's kind of like a rubbery plastic. And he got me those because I have very small fingers and they were made for kids. So they fit my finger and they don't fall off. So I have those in my sewing kit if I need them. And then it's got one of these tools that's supposed to help you thread things, which I've actually never figured out how to use. And I probably should because I have a really bad tremor just in general. It's not going to tremor too bad today, but I have a really bad tremor in general. And so sometimes threading things is hard and I have to make B do it. But that's just part of his job, I guess. I usually try to use the needle that comes with the kit. I'm weird like that. Maybe it's my autism, but I feel like if they gave me the needle, then it's supposed to go with that kit and this thread is supposed to go with this kit. But then in the end, I keep it all in my sewing box and then I will use them until they get too dull or they break or whatever. Sometimes they do. These needles are not as high quality as obviously if you go to the store and buy like a good needle from the store. But sometimes I like them. It just kind of depends. If they're crappy, usually it's like the eye part. I don't think you guys can see that very well. But the eye part where you would put the thread through is like got these sharp pieces on it. That's the thing that I found the most with these. Or the tips are either way too dull or way too sharp, like no in between. And I've definitely gotten myself more than one time. Oh, here's an example of a bad one. And obviously they don't care. These are probably made in huge masses and So you have to be careful when you buy this stuff and not expect a super lot from them. So don't pay a lot for these kinds of things. But you see how this one already came bent? So obviously this one's one that I'm going to have to, I might see if I don't know. They gave me so many. I probably won't try to save it. I'll put it in my scrap one. I usually put all my bad ones in a pill tube. And I don't know. I guess I just collect them. I don't think I've ever thrown one away, to be completely honest. But it did come in a kind of almost cute bag. Most of the pattern wore off. I don't know if that happened after I got it or if it was just already beat up. I guess it doesn't matter. But they gave me quite a few needles. This is way more needles than I usually would expect for such a small kit. I would think maybe 2 or 3 for a kit this size. So that's kind of weird. If you do kits in general, doesn't have to be a pre-stamped one. When you look this up, if you want one like this, I usually look up pre-stamped or like you can look it up with pre-printed or something like that. And it'll usually bring up a stamped kit like this versus a counted. But whenever you get them, I highly recommend getting these kinds of project bags. I got these from Amazon. They came in different sizes, and I love this set of bags. They're like a plasticky material, and it looks kind of like they're holes, but they're actually not holes. So it protects everything, even from like rain or if I spill something on it. And it's got a zipper on the top. And then when I start a project, I can just put all the pieces of the project in this bag like this. And it holds everything. And like I said, I have multiple sizes. So I'll put all my stuff in here like this. All of it together. And then I can zip it up. And then if I'm done with this project, because sometimes, you just get frustrated with the project and you need a break, I can just throw it in a bag like this. And then I'll just put it in my to be worked on pile. And then when I pull it out, I can just keep it all together. Or if I'm traveling and I want to take it with me to work on in the car or at like my in-laws' house or something, then I can just grab my bag instead of having to worry about scrambling for all of my crap. So I really like those bags and highly recommend them. I could see those being good for a lot of different projects. They can fit and they can get pretty wide if you need them to. So I think even if you were making like small crochet projects, you probably could use this, or small yarn ones. This isn't going to fit your sweater. But if you're making like gloves or socks or maybe a scarf, you probably could fit all that stuff in here just to keep it together. It makes my area look a lot more organized, which I enjoy. Right now it's disorganized because I'm working on like 3 projects at one time. I'm working on a birth announcement for a friend, and I'm working on a really big pre-printed cross-stitch kit. Maybe I'll go grab that. Hold on. I'm walking out of the way. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my gosh. This one's from Spirited Away. But see how much bigger this one is compared to that last one? But you can see I got most of it done, and then I only put this one to the side because I was working on that birth announcement, and then I literally just got lazy, and I just haven't worked on it since. But once you start doing it more, the material, even though, like I said, this is crappier Ida fabric than what I use, it becomes a lot more malleable. I don't personally use any kind of like frame, or like some people use the hoops when they do this. I personally don't do that. Someday I'll show you guys how I do it, but I'm probably going to be done soon. But I actually just wad it up like this. Probably not the recommended way, probably not how you should, but this is how I learned how to do it when I was really little, because I've been cross-stitching since I was probably like 6 or 7. And I would literally just wad up the sides so that I could get to the part that I wanted to get to. I think the negative with doing that is it's going to make sometimes your stitches have different, like how tight your stitches are. Because I have noticed that before, where sometimes when I release my grip, like the stitch comes out a little bit looser than I expected it to. But I'm also not a perfectionist, and I don't sell my stuff. I'm just making it for me. So when they're a little bit funky, it is what it is. But it's turning out pretty good. I've done other Spirited Away ones before. I think I have another one of Haku and Chihiro. And I have a Card Captors one somewhere that I'm still needing to work on. And I've done a Rivendell one. And I've done some smaller kits too. Like I said, my Pokemon ones and everything. But this one came from Tapestry Market. And again, technically, they are definitely stealing art They have to be, because there's no way that all of this stuff is officially licensed. Sometimes you'll notice it just disappear off the site. So I do try to find out who did the art so I can support them. But sometimes you can't, and they just had like an Instagram post where they shared their art and it got stolen. So all you can really do is share the art and say like, hey, this person's great, periodically. And sometimes I can't find them because they're probably from like overseas, and I don't know how to find them other than reverse image search, and everybody is stolen. This image is all over the place. It's for like computer backgrounds and all sorts of stuff. I have no idea who the original artist of this one was, but I love it. I like the other one too. Sorry, I'm gonna figure out this camera thing one of these days, I swear to God. But hopefully I finish it soon because I really want to hang it up. I'm gonna need more wall space at some point because I hang stuff up everywhere. But yeah. But I do need to finish it. I want to work on that Kiki one eventually. I needed a break from this one because you can see how much I have to do of like the same color. And when you have to do the same color over and over and over again, I get so bored. I like to do it. I know some people do it when you're doing a counted. Usually you're not going to just do one color because it's so spaced out. You would do like start in the corner and then like slowly start working your way over and like down and everything. But when it's printed like this, it's nice because I literally can just be like, oh, I'm going to start with number 1, and then I'll find all the number 1s, and then I'll go and find number 2, and I'll do all the number 2s. And that's how it looks like this already. But sometimes I miss spots, and then you have to go back at the end. And the thing that also sucks about these, before I forget, is you have to wash out the print. It does wash out. Sometimes it's a pain and you have to do it 2 or 3 times. And when they're big like this, they're a bigger pain because usually I don't have a bathtub in my house. We only have a shower where I live. So I have to do it in the sink in the kitchen, and sinks aren't that big. So it's kind of annoying to have to fit something this big. My Rivendell one is probably like almost 1.5 times as long as this one is. So it was kind of annoying because I had to wash like one side and get it clean, and then I'd have to flip it and I'd have to do the other side and get it clean. And that was just annoying. So I wasn't a huge fan. But it does wash out. Sometimes the colors that I have trouble with getting out are red, and some of the really dark blues or greens. But eventually if you wash them and wash them again and wash them again, it'll get better. Maybe one day I'll show you guys how I do that. When I finish one of these other ones, I can do like a short or something that shows how I do it. It's pretty easy. Warm water, Dawn dish soap is what I use. And then you just rub, and it can take like half an hour though. It's kind of annoying. It depends on how big. The little one's not as bad. You should still wash your little kit or your little ones that you do, or counted. That's what I was trying to say. Counted. You should still wash your counted sheets because your hand has oils on it. And so when you finish any project, you should still probably wash it before you hang it up or give it to a friend or whatever, because your oily fingers might have left traces of itself on your project. Plus, if it's gotten wrinkled or anything, and then you go ahead and you wash it, it's going to make it easier for you guys. I usually hang mine up like this. I like get a hanger, and then I clip it like a pant hanger, or you can use clothespins on a regular hanger and clip it like this while it dries. But then if you want to get it even flatter, you can put like a towel over it and then use a clothes iron. You don't want to iron it directly because it can damage the thread and burn it. So usually you want to put like a towel or something over it and then iron it. That's my trick that I've learned from the internet. I didn't do that stuff back in the day when I learned when I was like 7 years old, But yeah. Anyway, that's kind of all I had. Sorry I didn't actually cross stitch, but maybe next time I will. If I do, like I said, I'll only cross stitch on the ones that are pre-printed because I don't necessarily care about spoiling any of that since it's probably stolen art anyway. And I don't care. Like if you guys want those patterns, I'd send them to you because I don't really trust how they even got those patterns. But anybody that actually is a pattern maker from Etsy, or if I find them on Instagram or whatever, I will not share those patterns because I want you to go buy their patterns. I will tell you where to get them though, but I will not tell you the pattern. I think that makes sense though. Most of the people that I think I hang out with are artist people themselves, so they'll understand. And it's kind of hard right now with the way art is. Everybody's art gets stolen and reshared so much. Like it's used in memes And people reshare art on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter, X, whatever. And they don't always credit. And so it winds up just getting lost. And so it's frustrating. And I know it's bad that I even buy this stuff, but I want the art that I want to work on at the same time. And I'm sorry, I don't have time to make my own patterns. I just don't. I like those kinds of pre-printed kits because you don't have to think when you do them. Like a counted stitch kit, counted cross stitch kit, you have to think the whole time. And sometimes that is fun for me, but sometimes with my autism, I can't focus as well and I need to calm down. And the tactile sensory nature of cross stitching calms me down, but I can get very frustrated because if you're not counting well enough and you're too distracted, you're going to have to frog out your whole project and redo it. And I just get too frustrated to do that. So that's why sometimes I'll switch back and forth between using a counted or a printed kit. So that's why I sometimes support maybe not the best. It's kind of like buying from Shein, right? Or Romwe or whatever, because they also steal a lot of their stuff too. So I guess it's similar, but I don't personally like having to do it. So I'll usually only buy 1 or 2 kits like that every couple of years. They're bigger ones, so that way I don't have to do it very often. So I wouldn't support them, but I also understand sometimes out of convenience, it's just easier to do. You don't find very many printed kits from like actual artists. You do find counted kits where they'll already have the fabric and the thread ready for you, which is cool because that kind of takes out that extra step of having to buy it all yourself, which for people like me, I think can be intimidating to go to the store and then make sure you find all of the pieces. And then if you can't find a piece, trying to not get too frustrated when you have to go to another store. So I like when they have kits available, even if they are more expensive, just because of the convenience of it. I would love to see more people doing printed kits, but I also know printing on that fabric is probably not necessarily easy for like the average everyday person. You probably have to have a special computer to print on fabric like that. So I like totally get it. So I'm doing my best, but I also know, okay, whatever. But anyway, trying to think if I have anything else to say about that. Does anybody else like to do tactile stuff like that to calm down? I think it's nice whenever you are overstimulated or you just need a break by yourself to be able to do that. I think that's why I like video games too, because of the sensory nature of it. Like people don't think about how much of gaming is the tactile response in your controllers. And I think I like that. There's like a story to it, but since it's also physically in your hands, there's a physical aspect of it that just calms me down. I won't play a horror game if I'm overstimulated, but like that's why I think games like Stardew Valley are also fun because they're so personal and they're physical and then they're a story and it's repetitive. And I think that kind of thing just drives well with me personally as an autistic person, but I'm sure other people might have different opinions on it and it depends on the person too. Because I do like certain games more than other ones, and certain games I can only play at certain times. Like I've got the new Alan Wake, and I still haven't played it because I have to be in the right mood to play a horror game. And if I'm not, it's just gonna freak me out, and I'm gonna get frustrated, and I'm not gonna be in the mood. And I haven't been playing games as much as I used to, so I am worried I'm gonna suck at it. Because the first Alan Wake could kind of get hard in certain spots, mostly because the controls were kind of crappy. Just being honest, it's one of my favorite games, but just being honest. And so I'm kind of worried about the new one, if it's going to also have some of those difficulties, because lately I've only really been playing Skyrim and Stardew Valley. And I've been playing Skyrim since 2011 when it came out. So I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Like my most recent playthrough was over 100 hours, and I've only played it for a couple weeks. So it like I don't really have to think when I'm playing those games anymore. Stardew Valley is kind of the same, hundreds of hours in it. So when I have to play a new game and I actually have to think, if I have anything else going on, I just get overstimulated and cannot do it. So I need a weekend when I'm by myself so I can just sit and I'm just going to have to blast through it and try to binge it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure it out because I really do want to play it. By the way, fixed. he glued it back together. You can kind of tell if you look at it really close, but once you get to know me, you'll know if I buy stuff, I'm going to use stuff. And if I use the stuff and it breaks, I'm not going to cry because I bought it and I'm using it. And I'm not, like, I was like that with my dolls too, right? Ball jointed dolls are expensive, and I have some that have broken fingers or come to me cracked or whatever. I don't care because I'm going to use it. I'm going to touch it. It's going to yellow. It's going to get my wheelie fingers all over it. But I paid money because I want to play with it. And that's how I feel about this kind of stuff. So they'll break and I won't care because I'll fix it. And it has a little bit extra life in it now because it got played with. And that's how I am with everything except for my Nightmare Before Christmas dolls that I got from Monster High. And I know I've shown that before, but let me grab them because they're right here. I need to get off, but offline. Blah. But anyway, this is my Nightmare Before Christmas Monster High dolls. This is the only one I have not opened in any way. Haven't decided if I'm going to yet. Possibly could. I'd prefer not to, but mostly because I don't think I'll be able to get them back in the box as neatly. And that's going to bother me because the box has like the decoration in the background. Hold on. Let me get rid of this light so it's not so glarish. I know there's still glare from the overhead, but it's got the background on it and it just looks so good in the box because the box is all decorated. So I just don't want to open it. But I didn't buy two. I should have bought two so I could have sent one to Giggle because I think she said whenever she tried it was already sold out. These sold out in like 15 minutes. I was like waiting in the queue so I could get these because I wanted them so bad. And I did. And I've seen other people open them, so I'm kind of like happy with seeing other people open them versus me opening mine. So they'll probably stay in their box. I even have the dust sleeve that it came with like on a separate shelf above my stuff because I like the way that looked too. That might get retired though, and I might pack it away so I can put other dolls or something on that shelf because I have so many dolls. I have so many dolls. Let me put this away. Okay. It's back. But anyway, I kind of just showed that for no reason. I guess I was just talking about it. But I do want to try to do a real video where I edit the video. That's going to be something. I'll probably talk about something not important first just so I can practice. And I still want to do more videos on my cryptid stuff, but I have to do research because even though like right now I could start just spouting off nonsense about like Mothman, I want to make sure I get all my timelines right because I don't want to say anything and then be like, oh, sorry, I got that wrong. I'm going to just make sure I like go through and have all my info right when I do those kinds of streams. So, and I'll get there. I would like to eventually figure out how to get my YouTube to stream my gaming, but I haven't figured that out yet. But I know you can do it because I've seen other people do it. So I just have to figure out how to do it. But I'll get there too. So it'll be kind of cool to do those kinds of streams. I can't show you my current Skyrim game because it's on the Switch, and I think you have to have a whole bunch of extra stuff to stream from your Switch because Nintendo doesn't like it. But I could always restart. It's not like I don't have Skyrim for every system because I do. And I have gotten actually some requests from people. Thanks, guys. I have five followers, I think, on here. Subscribers. 5 subscribers on here. And I have actually gotten people messaging me on my Instagram about stuff that they would be interested in me reviewing, like food-wise. So I think one of these days I'm going to try to stop by, like Five Below has a lot of weird foods apparently. And I have seen that before. So there's a couple things that I might go pick up from there. And Mountain Dew, of course, is releasing more flavors. They usually release them every quarter or so, and sometimes special ones here in between. So I'm going to try to get some of those. If I can convince B, I might have them take me to some restaurants that have like fast food places that have like exclusive Mountain Dew flavors. I've never tried some of them. And so it would be kind of interesting to give them a shot. I want to give Baja Blast another try because I don't personally like Baja Blast, but it's been like 10 years since I've tried it the last time because I almost never go to Taco Bell, and usually obviously you can't buy it from the store. So maybe I'll try that. Some of those videos might wind up just being shorts because if I'm out and about and I'm going to review a soda, I'm not going to go live and do like a whole video. I might just do a short or something or a reel. And I might start posting some of my reels on here that I've already made just to get some of that content like cross-platformed. So in case you see it again, sorry, I'm going to do my best. I'm not great at making reels anyway, so that's fine. Like I said, if you're following me, you're just going to get this kind of person because that's just how I am. And the people that I follow on YouTube a lot of times are like this too. So I do want to learn how to edit though, because I'm sorry when you have to listen to me ramble for a long time, because I can just cut that out for other people. But for now, we're doing our best, and that's all you can do. And I started, so I have to at least be proud of myself for trying, regardless. And I think this is a really long one, so giggle. You're going to have a really long lunch. But I think you're off tomorrow, so I guess you'll have time to work on your art and listen to me ramble in the background. I know she's listening because she'll message me and she'll send me responses about stuff. So, thanks for the love. But anyway, so I'm going to go for today, and maybe by next time I'm going to have like a setup where it's going to be like brighter. I've had a couple ideas, but like I said, we keep all of our house pretty dark due to sensory issues, migraine issues, or the fact that I have dolls that are worth too much money and don't need direct sunlight. So I'm going to try to figure that out by next stream, which will probably be Monday next week, unless I get time on Friday or this weekend. But I post all of those updates on my Instagram, which is Momo Crits, and it'll just go on my story. Unfortunately, right now, I'm kind of posting them like right before I go live because I don't think about it. But I'm going to get better, and I want to stick to a routine so everybody knows what to expect and when I'll be on. But I always leave them up because I know I have friends in multiple time zones, and so that's kind of important. And so all I can do is try my best and keep going, and I hope all you guys do too. And I hope you guys all follow and tell me lots of things you want me to talk about or try, or things you're curious about so I can do videos on them. And eventually I want to be able to go places and record them and give you guys my experiences on that too. Kind of just like a regular person / autistic person, and their reactions to stuff, because that's what I am, and reviews on games and whatever else that I'm doing. But I want to just keep in touch with everybody. So please make sure that you do comment, or at least you can message me on Instagram. I'm almost always on, and I'll keep in touch with everybody. But that's all I have. I'm going to say for the bajillionth time. And this time I'm actually going to say goodbye. Bye.